silence, breaking the ruts. No sugarcoating, no softening the blow. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. Voices echo in darkness, where honesty dwells. Aaron drops knowledge, casting his spells. Feelings are fading, lost in the fray. If you can't handle it, step out of the way. It's a bitter pill, but he's done being nice. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. It's a bitter pill, but he's done being nice. Had to say it, no holding back. Words like fire, igniting the track. Listen or leave, it's your call tonight. Aaron's the storm, he's ready to fight. So brace yourself tight, prepare for the quake. Aaron had to say it, the truth won't break. Yeah, the truth won't break.
I had to say, or else it would just go unsaid. Yeah, I had to say, or else it would just go unsaid. If you didn't get it from me, you'd hear it from some newsman instead. I may cuss and yell, but I know what I say is right. You know what, I will fucking yell, but I know what I say is right. So long as the world be fucking shit up, I'ma yell into this mic. Left or right, don't matter, I will call you on your shit. I said left or right, don't fucking matter, I will call you on your shit. If you decide that fucking up, the gorilla's gonna deal with it. Yeah, I had to say it, or else it would go unsaid. Yeah, I had to fucking say it, or else it would just go unsaid. If you didn't hear it yelled at the top of my lungs, you got fed a crock of shit instead.
Okay, so apparently I can't talk. Forgot to unmute myself. I heard you, shush. All right, so we're going to do this again, and I hit it so good on the first time. To Iceman, Jason, Javier, Fitz, McShane, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to the guys from the Weather Report, to Billy G, to Walt from the B-Rob Podcast, to Kate, the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, to George Fonts of the World of Blaze Podcast, to Josh from New Hampshire, and to Bill from Clockham Craft Coffee. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. It really does. All right. Well, completely off my rhythm now, but here we go anyway. It wouldn't be an episode if I had to say it if there wasn't some sort of technical fuck up that is entirely my own fault happening on the back end. So we're going to get into it right away. The thing I want to talk about tonight is going to be a case of, no shit, this is what you're talking about. Of course it's on your mind. It's on everybody's fucking mind. It's the most news-forward thing going on in the media right now, and that is the woman who got herself shot in Minnesota. It hasn't spooled up to full, like, George Floydian degrees of fuckery yet, but it's got, that's probably because it's cold and the Bernie people don't like coming out in cold weather. They like fire, and fire is warm. And it's not warm right now, so they're not coming out. So anyway, this broad, I believe her name was Melissa Good, I think. My notes are right, or they might be wrong. I'm just kind of done when I was not super coherent. Got shot dead. She got shot because she was interfering with ICE activities in Minnesota as they're rounding up all the fucking bobble-headed motherfuckers that are up there defrauding the country. And if you look at it, there's actually a list available of the criminals that ICE has currently scooped up in Minnesota in the particular action that she was interfering with. The vast majority of them individuals on there were under deportation orders that were standing for at least 4 years already, if not longer. Some of them go back to the fucking Clinton administration. And they were almost all convicted of sex crimes involving children. So the fucking degenerate loser motherfuckers that are out there trying to protest on behalf of these motherfuckers, they should go in the wood chipper too. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of pretending like I have any kind of sympathy or empathy for these miserable subhuman fuckstains that are out here doing this shit. They all need to fucking kick rocks and fucking flip-flops. They suck. They are nothing but self-righteous, white-knighting pieces of shit who contribute nothing of actual worth to society, and they all need to fucking go. Now, to bring it about to this fucking dumb cunt who got herself shot by ICE for interfering with, ICE agents performing their legally sanctioned duties. And it's a case of, I have no sympathy for her. She aimed her car at an ICE agent. Now a lot of people are saying, oh, well, she was scared and she was trying to get away from the agents. She went there as a trained disruptor, and for the audio people, I just used heavy air quotes as I tend to do. She was a part of an organization that is out there deliberately fucking with ICE. She is trying to be martyred by the left, saying, oh, well, she was a mom, and she had stuffed animals in her glove compartment. I don't fucking care. Oh, well, she just wanted to get home to her kid. That's why she was trying to flee. No, this dumb cunt was there with the intention of interfering with ICE. Her wife got out of the vehicle to record it for social media, to record her interaction with ICE. On every footage that's out there of this incident, you can hear her wife screaming, "Drive, baby, drive," shortly before she runs over an agent and gets popped for her trouble. They're trying to cry victim. They're trying to say the agent murdered her. No, the agent acted in self-defense. Coincidentally enough, this is also the same guy that got dragged in fucking Chicago by an illegal that they were trying to apprehend and dragged him for like 6 fucking blocks. So him being a little sensitive about a vehicle coming straight at him, understandable. Honestly, I have a lot more sympathy for him than I have for her stupid cunt ass that got herself shot. Because, like I said, she went there with the intention of interfering with illegal law enforcement activities on behalf of a bunch of child-raping criminals. She is a garbage human being, and I have no sympathy for her. And people say, but Aaron, she's a human being. No, she's subhuman because she has prioritized all the wrong things and has lost that standard of being on par with anyone I consider worthy of being titled a human being. I don't feel any sympathy for her at all. She made a lot of bad choices, And this was the culmination of them, and that's the long and the short of it. And people have been trying to, push this angle. Oh, well, the ICE agent didn't have to react with violence. No, she assaulted him with a 4,000-pound vehicle. Well, 3825 or something like that. How do I know that's roughly what it is? Because that's the same fucking vehicle I have. It was a Honda Pilot. I have a Honda Pilot. They're not small cars. It's not a fucking subcompact. It's not something where he could just roll up the hood if she decided to fucking hit him. It is a case of this cunt hit him with her car. The end. Literally right before she hit him with the car, she's like, oh, well, I'm not mad at you guys, out the window, and then proceeded to stomp on it. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, she was scared. If she hadn't been there violating the law in the first place, she wouldn't have any reason to be scared. She's not an illegal. She's not the people ICE are there to arrest. She's a busybody cunt, was a busybody cunt who felt the need to go in and act on behalf of those poor shit upon brown people. And the fact that they're a bunch of child molesting kids probably wouldn't have fucking mattered to her because, based on a lot of the rumor mill, she's a pretty shit parent herself. And I do believe she's a shit parent. For a while, there was a talk going around the internet that she had lost 2 of her kids because her lesbian wife had been putting cigarettes out on them. Now, on the other case, it's a case of, that turned out to be disproven. There's no court records saying that's why her kids were removed from her or anything like that. But the simple fact of the matter is, regardless of the why behind it, okay, maybe she's not complicit in her spouse abusing her children. Maybe that's not why she lost her kids. But the fact of the matter is she only has custody of 1 of her 3 biological children. So for whatever the reason may be behind that, she obviously was not Mother of the Year material to begin with, which is what the left is trying to do. Oh my God, she had stuffed animals in her car. She dropped her kid off at daycare with the intention of going to fuck with ICE agents. She's not the good guy in this scenario. She is somebody that's acting on behalf of criminals because Orange Man bad, because this cunt didn't do a goddamn thing. It's not like she had some deep-seated moral aversion to deportation across the board. It's because none of these leftist retards do. Obama deported people. Clinton deported people. Not a fucking chirp from these smooth-brained fucks. But Orange Man Bad is doing it, and he's not even doing it fast enough because of all the fucking bullshit that goes along with him trying to do anything in this fucking day and age. And so this cunt has a meltdown and decides it's her moral duty to go out there and say that she needs to interact and interfere with the ICE agents because these poor shit upon brown people deserve to be here because reasons. I don't know why. It's fucking pathetic liberal white knighting at its fucking worst. And this is the ultimate consequence of this bullshit. This is, every single leftist leader in politics in this fucking country in this day and age owns a slice of this shit sandwich. Every single one of these dumb, vapid, mouth-breathing, yammering fuckheads who went out there talking about resist, talking about all these stupid fucking narratives that painted these morons with the idea that they are somehow acting in a just and righteous way. They have the righteousness on their side. It doesn't matter that they're breaking the law because they're doing what's right for these poor, pissed-upon brown people. And again, it is that inherent leftist racism that is in every thread and every breath of every belief they fucking hold. Down at the core of it, they deny it. The people who scream racist at every time you say something they don't like are inherently racist through the racism of low expectations and believing if they don't speak up for these poor shit upon criminals, they won't get a fair shake. And they, meanwhile, have no actual concept of what a fair shake consists of because they're fucking retards. But at the end of the day, these sanctimonious, self-righteous liberal fucks are out there interfering with ICE in as many ways as possible. You have more retard leftists now out there, rallying behind this dead dyke cunt because she was a fucking bastion of what they believe in, which is Orange Man bad. And that's it. That's literally the core of all their belief structures. Everything else is malleable around that concept. Murder is bad when it's done to their people. It's when Irina, I forgot her last name. That little tiny blonde Ukrainian chick got her throat slit by some multi-time arrested piece of shit on a train in North Carolina. Yeah, you didn't see any mourning out of them then. It wasn't all life is sacred. It was, well, the black guy did it, so the narrative disappeared right the fuck away. The fact that he'd been let out 74 fucking times by liberal judges, completely irrelevant. Poor little pretty white girl died, so she doesn't fucking count. But you know, the same people that were out there cheering and laughing and making jokes when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck for the audacity of holding ideas they didn't fucking like are out here screaming and rending their garments over this cunt who got shot for breaking the law and aiming a 4,000-pound vehicle at an officer who had a gun in his hand. Literally a case of fuck around and find out. The biggest thing I have that I take issue with this shooting is the fact that she had fucking kids. Not that I feel bad for the kids, but the fact that she got a chance to pass on her weak fucking genes before she died. So she can't get a goddamn Darwin Award for her own stupidity. She just gets a you fucked around and found out trophy. It's not nearly as satisfying for me as it would have been knowing she died without passing on her fucking failed seed. And the kid's going to grow up fucked. If he winds up in the custody of her lesbian wife, he's going to be programmed to be just an utter piece of shit when he grows up. He's going to, probably wind up lopping his dick off and be on hormone replacements for his entire fucking life and have 97 made up pronouns in his fucking handle every time he signs something. It's going to be sad. And, the leftists doing what they do is they started GoFundMe for it the day this bitch gets shot, help offset her wife's trauma and pain. We need $500,000. I'll let you know a secret. Funerals don't cost that fucking much. They're not fundraising. It's so this bitch doesn't have to work and she go out and continue to be a thorn in the side of people that actually have jobs that are trying to enforce the fucking law here. So she can be a sanctimonious, self-righteous fucking bull dyke that's out there just being fucking worthless. And I'm focusing on these problems saying, there's a lot of emphasis on the gender identity bullshit here, or the sexual orientation aspect of things. Anybody that's been listening to the show for more than 5 minutes knows I don't give a fuck about who you want to rub your naughty bits up against. As long as you don't build your entire fucking personality around that. As long as the major defining piece of who you are as a human being is who you're a boring motherfucker. If the biggest flag about you is who you want to fuck, you are a piece of shit with no redeeming qualities in general. That's just the way I feel about it. I'm not going to apologize for that. The fact that leftist media is highlighting that she's a lesbian and she's a lesbian mother is why I have such a problem with it. I wouldn't give a fuck if it was just an offhanded, like, oh yeah, by the way, she happened to be a lesbian. Yeah, again, if it was not one of those things they're harping on as to why she's a victim here, I wouldn't fucking care. The fact that every fucking piece of media coverage that comes up has to re-emphasize the fact that she's a lesbian mother, she's a social justice warrior, oh my God, I don't care. And again, they have to bring it up every fucking time, so I'm annoyed about it now. I wouldn't give a shit if it was just a by the way, but it's not a by the way. This is one of the defining characteristics of why she got shot. No, she got shot because she fucked around and did something fucking stupid. Period. Full stop. There's no other bullshit behind that. It's just the way it fucking plays out. At the end of the day, like I said, this is the thing that's infuriating to me. The leftist retards who celebrated Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck for saying words they didn't like, because literally that's the most egregious thing they can say he did. And everything they say is based on shit taken out of context, based on, oh, well, I heard a soundbite and he said that, he didn't want to have to guess if a black guy deserved his job. Yeah, well, you know what? It's not because he's particularly racist. It's because he didn't like the idea of DEI calling people's qualifications into question because of quotas and shit like that. It's actually a perfectly reasonable stance to take if you have more than two fucking brain cells that work and rub together, but nobody hears that part of the buildup to it. Nobody understands the context of the statement, so it's just, oh, Charlie Kirk was a racist. And it's a bunch of fucking retards. And sorry, I'm getting a little parched here. At the end of the day, the left does what they do. Oh, well, this agent, he murdered her. No, he didn't. He acted in very clear-cut self-defense. You want to know how we know that? Because the news immediately started pushing the narrative that she was just shot for driving away. No, she wasn't. You can look at anybody that knows anything at all about how guns work knows that the first bullet hole in that van or in her truck, it was through the front windshield. She got shot in a head-on. You had to be standing in front of her to make that angle on the shot. The fact is, if you watch the body cam footage, which was released after the initial media blurb, you get to see the guy get hit. You can see her looking straight at him. You can't say it was an accident. You can't say it was unintentional. You can't say that it was a case of, oh, well, she just panicked. She was looking dead at the fucking guy when the car made contact with his body. You can hear him hit the hood in the fucking audio from the body cam. You can't see really what's going on because when he got hit, he rolled away from being able to, so you kind of see the sky. But anybody who's ever hit anything knows what the sound of something hitting the hood of a fucking vehicle sounds like. So, but, you know, they're calling him a murderer. They're saying he needs to face justice for this shit and all kinds of other stupid leftist, narcissistic bullshit. You've got leftist talking heads out there saying when the Trump administration's out and they take power back, he will be accountable for this because there's no statute of limitations on it. Well, no, when it's found to be a clear-cut case of self-defense, there is no case to be had. You can't go back and say, oh, well, now we're going to prosecute you for this because we don't think that was right. That's not how the legal system works. But anyway, so beyond that, you get this dumb bitch, you get her, you know, activist fucking cunt wife, you get all the activist cunt assholes that are there in support of her because it wasn't just her vehicle. She was just at the head of a caravan of cars that were there to interfere with fucking ICE activities. They were out there actively trying to impede traffic, to block the flow, to stop vehicles from getting where they're going. It's this organized leftist retardism that is just rampant in our society today. And then they bitch about, oh, well, you know, Trump said this and he promised that and he's not delivering on this. Yeah, because he's got to deal with this shit and every single thing he tries to do. I'm not a fucking fan of the Cheeto dusted one, and anybody knows that. I'm not going to sit here and say the sun shines out of Donnie's fucking asshole. I honestly, on a personal level, I don't like the fucking guy for the most part. I mean, yeah, he makes me laugh. He's a sarcastic sack of shit. But at the end of the day, I don't care about his personality in terms of in relation to how he's getting shit done. I care that he prioritizes this country and the people of this country over fucking illegals. He has been doing a lot of shit that I'm not happy with in terms of how he's handling shit. He made a lot of promises that swayed people like me to vote for him by saying things like, we're going to end the fraud, we're going to expose the grift. And he brought in some people that I like, and I'm not going to say I don't. I agree with the Make America Healthy initiative again. I agree with cutting the waste and the fraud and all this bullshit. But the problem is, it brought Elon in, brought Doge in, exposed billions and billions of dollars of fraud and waste and abuse, and did fuck all about it. None of the Doge cuts were, you know, codified. The fucking Congress was still fucking useless. They're still spending CRs that continue Biden era spending. They've done fuck all that is useful or anything like that. Meanwhile, the left is out here acting like fucking, you know, heathens, savages, and pieces of shit. And I hate to say that because in a lot of ways I consider myself a heathen and a savage. I don't want to be associated with these mouth-breathing retards, but I fit in the more classical definition of those terms. But I digress. Point is, these fucking sloped head fucking smooth brain just shit bags, they're out here and they did what they do best. They doxed the ICE agent. They exposed him. They found his name and his address and exposed his wife. And immediately, again, inherent party of love and tolerance and acceptance, as long as you agree with them completely, goes, oh, he's got a Filipino wife. And he you know, immediately, well, he's married to an immigrant and he's an ICE. Yeah, he's married to a legal immigrant who came here legally and did things the right way. They constantly insist on this conflation between illegals and legal migrants. If you're a border jumping fuckwaffle, or you overstayed your student visa, or you violated any of your fucking, you know, clauses that allow you to be in this country legally, you're not the same as somebody who did things the right way, got a green card, followed the process, and did the fucking steps. You're not the same. And you do a disservice to anyone who did the things the right way by saying the people that just fucking came across deserve the exact same treatment as they do. But the, you know, inherent racism in these fucking retards won't allow them to see that. And then I saw something where somebody was saying, oh, well, he's got him a mail order bride. Well, you know, being that he was in the military for years, he did tours in Iraq, he was stationed around the planet, it's entirely possible he met her in the Philippines while he was on base. They fell in love, got married, and had a perfectly normal, rational, you know, adult relationship. But oh no, since he's married to a Filipina, it must be a mail order bride and all this other just racist, bigoted, stupid shit coming out of the left. And, you know, basically putting him into a position of where he's going to have to, I mean, they've exposed his face, they've exposed his wife, they've exposed his family. Now their safety's jeopardized. They're at risk. So, the right sets up a give, send, go for that to try and get some money together. And I think they get cobbled. I mean, that's one thing I'll give them credit for. And it may be because they don't actually have to pay for anything, and it's probably a lot of washed money from a lot of sources. But the left sure knows how to fucking get fundraisers together for dirtbags, because the huge gum, no teeth having bitch that survived the dumb cunt that got shot in Minnesota, they've fundraised something like $1.4 million for this bitch. And people say, oh, well, it won't replace his mom. That money's not going to the kid. It's going to go to the cunt. And it'll probably get kicked back into some sort of fucking political fund, and it'll be bullshit. It's probably money laundering. I really doubt it's a case of she's going to live like a good life. She's going to continue to be a piece of shit. She's just going to have money to do it with now. So, whatever. The left is way better about paying bounties on their own fucking people as long as it forwards their fucking agenda. The right, this guy's going to have to probably move and rebuild his whole life and find some way to keep his wife safe while he's out doing his job, because he hasn't quit or anything like that. And they've fundraised something like $250,000 for him. I mean, it's not an insignificant amount by any means, but it's not $1.5 million. Excuse me. So that's kind of the first thing about this is dumb, sanctimonious, liberal, white cunt gets herself killed. The left latches onto it like it's their new shiny sparkly. They haven't had their George Floyd moment yet. Again, like I said at the start of this, it's because it's cold out and the fucking Bernie people don't like the cold. You can't jump up and down on the hood of a car in a snowsuit. It's kind of awkward. They'll wait until the weather warms up a little bit more, and then they'll be out and stirring shit up. Unless we, have a full-blown lockdown. Me, personally, I'm kind of at the point where I say we build a fucking 40-foot wall around Minneapolis and just let the fucking shithole burn. These assholes deserve it. I'm sorry for the good people that are stuck there, but you picked a bad place. You should have got out. And, I find myself saying that a lot more these days, too, where it's... My sympathy for the people who are in these situations is, I'm in fucking Illinois. It's not like I got a huge amount of room to talk about being in a shitty location. And I'm here for the foreseeable future for various fucking reasons I won't get into right now. But at the end of the day, these situations are almost irredeemable, which leads into the second thing I want to talk about, which is the mayor of Minneapolis comes out after the shooting and says he has a message for ICE, and that's get the fuck out of Minneapolis. How about you pandering fucking Gibbon? You do your goddamn job by the citizens of that state, or of that city, because you're the mayor, and you start investigating all the fraudulent claims and fraudulent activity and all the fucking illegals that are there that you give sanctuary to. Now, you won't do that because the only reason you won your fucking seat is because you pandered to the fucking Somali community and you instigated a tribal conflict during the election, so the fucking I'm the captain now looking piece of shit that was running for the same office didn't win because you pandered to a different group of Somalis, which was a more prevalent group of Somalis, and they liked him fucking better. But, again, you're weak. You're pre-cum. You're a failed human being. You are not a man. You are a fucking, XY chromosome having bitch. That's all you are. And, I know he's never going to hear it. It's not like I'm personally addressing him. He's a massive fucking cunt, though. And I can't stand the guy. And he thinks he's talking tough. Get the fuck out of Minneapolis. Fuck you. Do your goddamn job, and they wouldn't have to be there in the first fucking place. But, under this cunt rag's leadership, they, anticipated, there's going to be violence. And you got Timmy Walls out there, talking about, having the National Guard on standby, not to quell riots or protect the citizens or anything like that, but in case they have to, take the fight to ICE. So you have a failed governor who has been implicated in the billions of dollars that were fraudulently stolen from the American taxpayers, threatening to use the National Guard militarily against federal agents fulfilling their legal duties in the state. This is literally textbook treason and sedition. Now, Tim was very careful in his phrasing of how he said it, but that's exactly what he said. And he is in a position of he is not seeking re-election. He was going to run for the third term as governor. A historic first for Minnesota, having a 3-term governor, until Nick Shirley came along and exposed him as the lying, thieving piece of shit. Like, he's never going to be able to get around this fucking fraud. And his handlers told him so and said, Timmy, you're done. Fucking hang it up. Now, the rumor mill as of this morning, Monday the 12th, was he is actually probably going to step down as governor this week, according to sources from within the Walz campaign, which I won't believe it till it fucking happens. I don't think his ego will let him do that, but I'm pretty sure somebody came to him and said, look, you're going to fucking do this, or, you know, we're going to do what you did to the fucking only Minnesota Democrat who voted against funding the fraud, i.e., you know, they're going to have somebody whack him, and then they're going to probably try and blame it on MAGA. And, I really think that's probably the only way they could get him to step down at this point, because he's a fucking retard. And, it's frustrating to me. And anyway, so between Tampon Timmy and, fucking Jacob Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, they basically said, okay, here's what's going to go on. People are going to swarm to the streets. We're not going to do shit about it. The Minneapolis Police Department had stand-down orders. They were not to interact with any of the fucking, rioters at this point. We're not going to call them protesters, although that's what the left is calling them. They're protesters. They're upset. They're mad that one of their own was killed by a federal agent, despite the fact that it was entirely preventable and completely her own fucking fault. So, yeah, they basically, rioters went out, swarmed the streets in Minneapolis over the weekend. They didn't get a full-on, like, the city didn't fucking burn, but they were out there causing trouble. And to show you exactly what their intents were, they went and broke into a fucking hotel and vandalized it, and they were outside in their cars honking and actively trying to disrupt the ICE agents from getting a good night's sleep, so they would be tired when they were at work tomorrow, so they'd be missing a step and wouldn't be able to respond properly when the fucking leftist retards showed up to cause problems. Only catch to that is the leftist retards were at the wrong fucking hotel. So they broke in and vandalized a fucking hotel for no good fucking reason whatsoever, other than the fact their stupid, sanctimonious, self-righteous cunt asses thought they were in the right place at the right fucking time. But unfortunately for them, they're fucking retards and they were at the wrong place. And the mayor allowed it. The governor allowed it. They were... The police turned tail and fucking ran when it came time to confront these people that were out there actively breaking the law. And anybody who hasn't been paying attention was probably shocked that the cops did fuck all about it. But anybody that was paying attention during 2020 realized that the Minneapolis Police Department is fucking useless. Like so many other activist police departments in this fucking country right now, in all these deep blue city shithole areas. The cops there are either being the good ones are hamstrung by the fucking administration, and the administration are a bunch of defeated, conquered cucks. They're fucking worthless. They're fucking useless. They're activists. They're not fucking cops. They're fucking pieces of shit in a uniform that probably have no business fucking wearing it. Which brings me to my next point, which is another one of those areas that's already showing all the earmarks of deep, deep levels of fraud, is Philadelphia. The Philadelphia sheriff or whatever, little squat, weeble-wobble looking fat black lesbian. Again, irrelevant things, except for these are claims they all have to put in when they bring this person up. But again, way too fat to be the kind of person that could ever have been an active on-the-street cop, has flat out said they will not cooperate with ICE. ICE will not be able to operate in Philadelphia and blah, 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 and all this other sanctimonious, self-righteous, stupid shit that makes me think activists really out themselves when they get into positions of authority, because they get there for no qualifications, and it shows when they open their fucking mouths, because a sheriff's local authority does not trump federal agents enforcing federal law. It's called the Supremacy Clause. It's not a complicated concept. All you got to do is fucking look it up. It used to be like, 8th grade, 9th grade social civics classes, Unfortunately for society, but, functionally for them, it was deliberate. They took those classes out of the school curriculum because when you know the fucking rules and how the system's supposed to work, they can't fucking pull this shit nearly as easily. So, yeah, this fat cunt's like, oh, yeah, no, ICE better not come around here. They'll get thrown in jail, and they'll this and they'll that. We'll stop them from doing their jobs. No, the fuck you won't, you fat cunt. And that's just the reality of the matters. But again, this brain rot that's all through the fucking woke left assholes is so prevalent, again, that it works its way into the fucking leadership, because the actual leadership, the ones who button their fucking lip real quick when, the facts come up, when the actual shit goes down and they go out and say the right things, and not what they mean, and by all means not what they think is going to fucking happen, but they go out there and they say things like, go out there and protest, but do it peacefully. Oh, here's the address of the fucking ICE agent who shot her. Behave yourselves. These dumb motherfuckers who do everything they need to do legally indemnify themselves from being held accountable for the actions of their fucking supporters, who know full goddamn well what is going to happen when they say this shit. They're very careful about their phrasing because they have lawyers advising them. That's pretty much what it boils down to. It's kind of like, when you get the fuck muppet governor in my state who comes out and says things like, oh, Republicans shouldn't know a moment's peace. And that's a real open to interpretation statement from a legal standpoint. He can get up in front of a judge and say, I never told these people that they should go out and harass them. I said they shouldn't know. I just was trying to encourage them to be activists, but to do it the right way. You didn't explicitly go out and say do it the right way, because if you did that, it wouldn't carry the weight with your deranged fucking crowd that you want to lead, you fat, bloated, jelly, pasty-filled fuck muppet. But God, I hate that piece of shit so much. But I digress. That's really not the point. The point is, it's rampant throughout the country at this point. Every deep blue area is full of these sanctimonious retards who somehow think they're just in their behaviors because they're acting on behalf of the shit upon who can't act for themselves, or whatever other narcissistic, delusional, white knight savior bullshit it is that motivates these assholes to do what they do. It's a case of they are genuinely fucking detached from reality because they think they're the good guys, but they also think they're the fucking main character. I guarantee this dumb cunt in Minnesota did not see it panning out the way that it did, because she was obviously there as a force for good, as a white knight savior to help these poor shit upon brown people who are being unfairly prosecuted because apparently they don't understand that you're not supposed to fuck kids, or whatever retarded leftist logic told her that she was doing something good. But not only did she think she was doing something good, she was not out there with the intention of becoming a fucking martyr and a rallying cry for the fucking blue-haired fucking land whales to get behind. I guarantee you, never so much as considered the fact that she could get killed for what she was doing. It never even entered her mind that she would have to go to jail. Worst case scenario, the cops would yell at her and she'd say, I'm a citizen and you're ICE. You can't do anything to me. And she would ride off into the fucking sunset to go scissor her ugly fucking cunt wife. But that's not how it works. They don't understand it because they're fucking retards and they believe everything that their leadership tells them about this magical, mystical plot armor they're going to wrap themselves in because they're acting righteously and they're acting on behalf of the poor shit upon criminal retards. So obviously nothing bad will happen to them. They're the main character. The world revolves around them. They are making a change in the world, and that change can only come if they're out there leading the fucking pack, because I don't understand why. I mean, I can't even come up with a logical reason why any of these fucking retarded assholes thinks that they are somehow above consequence or somehow above reproach or above the legality of anything, where they think that everything's going to work out for them. I mean, you could look at the vast majority of these assholes' utter failures of a personal life, whether it be the fact that they contribute nothing to society, and that's how they flock to these fucking causes because they somehow think this is going to make an impact on the world for the better, and it's all of a sudden going to mean they do matter despite all the evidence to the fucking contrary. Or maybe it's going to be a case of these fucking assholes are out there and they think, like, they genuinely believe that since they are doing this fate or nature or Gaia or whatever, because most of these assholes don't believe in God, at least not on any real deep and meaningful level. They'll give lip service in some cases, where I've seen some of these leftist restarts trying to say, oh, well, it's the godly thing to do, and what would Jesus do? And Jesus was a fucking refugee. No, Jesus was born in Nazareth because he was there to be counted in a census. Yeah, fucks. He was actually repatriated, and then he left when they started killing the babies. So yeah, no, he wasn't in Nazareth because he was a refugee. You illiterate fuck waffles. But I digress. It's a case. It's a case of they convince themselves that nothing's going to happen to them. Because the most important thing in any of these vapid, hollow excuse for a human being's lives is the idea that their peer group will look at them and respect them and uphold them and uplift them and tell them they're good and tell them they're special and tell them they did something fucking amazing. Now, I'm going to go a little further into this shortly, but here's the thing. I maybe it's because it's me and I don't understand this frame of thought. I only give a shit when people have something nice to say about me if it's coming from people that I can respect or look up to in some way, shape, or form. When you look at a bunch of other failed fucking baristas and fucking kids who peaked as rock number 3 in 4th grade in their theater career, but they really, really, really believe that someday they just haven't, nobody's realized how super special they are yet, despite the fact that they're pushing 40, still fucking, behave like they're fucking 12, dress like they're fucking 14, and have the mental capacity of a fucking toddler. These just failed theater kids, these pathetic excuses of a fucking incomplete human being, feel like if they get enough of their fellow incomplete failed human beings to tell them how special they are, all of a sudden the rest of the world's going to fucking see it. Not that the rational people who are out there worried about real things like, working and supporting their families and raising decent families look at them with fucking utter contempt and see them as, oh, look, they're being uplifted by all the other fucking contemptible piece of shit, incomplete human retards that are out there. It's not, they don't understand the difference between good attention and bad attention. That part is fucking obvious because, I don't know. Maybe mommy and daddy didn't hug them enough when they were kids. Maybe mommy and daddy hugged them too fucking much when they were little. I don't know what makes people into these failed fucking human beings. I don't understand it. I don't have the capacity or the desire to fucking try and develop empathy or sympathy for these fucking people. Which brings me to the next thing. I said something over the weekend. I don't even remember what it was exactly. In somebody's post or comments, basically saying that she got what she had fucking coming to her for doing something stupid, and somebody tried to, I don't know, evoke some empathy from me or something. Obviously, they didn't know who the fuck they were talking to. Because they said, well, what would you feel the same way if this was, one of your family members? And it's like, no, I'd be meaner if it was somebody from my family because I know you don't have the excuse of bad genes. It's a case of, I don't have any sympathy for those people. I said, well, what would you do if it was your family member that got shot? I said, first off, none of my family members would be stupid enough to put themselves into that situation to begin with. But on the off chance, because I do have left-leaning cousins, and I have, severely left-leaning cousins who don't see eye to eye with me on a fucking thing. I guarantee it. I haven't talked to them in years. Again, because I guarantee they don't respect me, and I don't respect them. We share DNA, and that's fucking it. So if somebody in my family got popped interfering with law enforcement activities, and I, for whatever fucking reason, wound up at the funeral, probably to placate my mother because she would think I need to go because she believes that, blood ties matter or some shit, I would be at that funeral talking shit about them the entire fucking time. And I would continue to talk shit until the fucking hole was filled in about what a fucking retard they were, how goddamn failed as a human being they were, about how fucking stupid they were for making choices that would lead them to that position in the first place, and what a garbage human being they were for not realizing that these consequences could happen and impact their children's lives. Because that's what it boils down to. Every leftist retard who's out there trying to say, oh, well, she was a mother. So fucking what? No, she spawned. She was not a parent. She was not a caring and loving mother because instead of prioritizing to making sure she got home to her kid at that night, she decided she needed to fucking play the savior to a bunch of fucking child raping pieces of shit. And the fact that the left by and wide doesn't see fucking kids as a deal breaker when it comes to standing up for these scumbag fucks is a perfect indication of where they stand in terms of no. And then you follow that up with, now you have liberal retards, leftist retards, taking their kids to these fucking protests and these actions now. In Minnesota, there are literally people out there with their babies with them. And one of them said to a reporter, they won't do anything to a child, and if they do, that'll prove they're right. These people don't care about their children in any kind of familial way. To them, they are a convenience, they are a prop, and they are something to be used, and that's fucking it. That is disgusting. If you look at your kid as a leverage, a bargaining tool, and this could go spooling away off into like, fucking things like child support and divorces and all this other shit in custody. I could spin off on this for another hour, but if you treat your child as a fucking leverage or bargaining chip or as a fucking shield so you can try and go out and break the fucking law, knowing that the law enforcement are actually decent human beings that wouldn't jeopardize a child's life to fucking get to your monkey ass, you are not a parent. You are someone who procreated, and that's fucking it. You're not a mother, you're a fucking incubator. You're not a father, you're a fucking sperm donor. That's it. You're a garbage human being, and you are we're back to the whole leftists are subhuman, in my opinion. And the more they talk, the more they fucking make social media posts, the more they fucking go out on their fucking delusional rants and their fucking lies, the more I believe that. The less I feel we have anything in fucking common beyond, Homo erectus. That's about as far as it fucking goes. I don't even think they made it to actual fucking Homo sapiens. And they're scumbags. They are fucking just degenerate fucking losers with no real understanding of what compassion or empathy or humility or anything is, beyond performative concepts that they try and throw around to make themselves feel like they sound smart, even though they're fucking retards, because you can look at what somebody says or you can look at what they do to determine what kind of a human being they are. What they say is the least reliable way to do it. You can say all the right things and still be an absolute scumfuck, and that is 99.98% of these fuck waffles. There may be 0.02% of them that are actual genuine good human beings that are just fucking misled, but by and wide, most of them are terrible fucking pieces of shit that are more concerned about being seen as good people than actually being good fucking people. And they really genuinely believe this performative nonsense will somehow offset the just scumfuckery of their actual lives and the useless, non-contributory existences that they've managed to eke their way through. It's fucking disgusting. And I loathe every leftist politician, yammering, talking head, and political figure and influencer, and every one of these fucks who got us to this goddamn point. I'm at the point where it's one of those things. I mean, I hate the fact that this show is just nothing but political bullshit at this point. But unfortunately, that's what's in the world these days, and apparently that's what people come around for. But at the end of the day, the incompetent Republican Party in D.C. and in many much lower tiers too, they have no spines. They're controlled opposition at worst or at best, and at worst they're part of the fucking problem. They don't put forward the interests of the country or the people. They just care about getting their own fucking bag, and that's it. That's why you see things like the fact that we're still running on a CR, continuing Biden-era spending, because they don't want to cut anything. They don't actually have any real incentive to do it. They're, especially these motherfuckers in largely like legacy motherfuckers. Lindsey Graham, uncontested Republican district. He's going to probably wind up losing the fucking seat, and a bunch of other fucking liberal retards are going to wind up hopping into seats because they're disenfranchising the Republican base by being worthless scumfucks. They're just as bad as the fucking liberals. They're just a different shade of fucking paint. At least, to my way of thinking. They're all fucking scum, and everybody knows I hate politicians in general. And, certain politicians in specific, like fucking Warhawks, America Last Losers, and everybody that says they have Democrat after their name, except for really Fetterman. For some reason, that fucker's been growing on me lately. And I'm saying that as somebody who voted Democrat for years because I was naive and stupid, but that was also way before the Overton window shifted from, we should let these gay fellas get married to tell me I'm a fucking woman, ignore my testicles, you fucks. I mean, I hate the left more so for anything else than the fact that they made me go, you know what, the slippery slope people might have had a fucking point. I hate that that's the reality we live in these days. I wanted to be able to say, no, you fucking insecure pieces of shit are wrong. And those insecure pieces of shit were wrong about a lot of things, but apparently not the whole, like, if we let the gays get married, next thing you know, they're going to be telling kids to cut their dicks off and fucking chop their breasts off. I mean, I never would have made that assumption when I was a younger man. I never would have thought it would have gotten this fucking out of control, but here we sit. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I have about, semi-current events. Football's been footballing. I don't care. I'm at the point where I honestly believe that half of this shit is scripted and the other half is bullshit because my team always sucks. And even when my team doesn't suck, they still wind up sucking. And professional athletes are a bunch of spoiled, pampered babies, and I'm sick of their bullshit. So fuck them. Anyway, so I'm going to open this up to the chat for a minute or so here, give you guys a chance to, is there anything you want to hear my opinions on? Is there something I missed? Do you think I'm an asshole? If you're somebody that's not one of the normal listeners, you're more than welcome to call me out and tell me I'm a piece of shit. I'm perfectly fine with that. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. You better be able to back it up with more than just, nuh-uh. But by all means, tell me I suck. Tell me I'm wrong. Whatever. Unlike most people, including the vast majority of leftists, if I'm wrong about something, I will admit it as long as you're not a cunt about it. I will, prime example, I posted something about how I thought she lost her kids for her wife burning them with cigarettes, and that was later debunked. Because, like I said, there's no legal paperwork anywhere saying that happened. I don't know why she doesn't have her kids, but that ain't it. And one person said something to me about that, and I said, well, I made that post before that information had been securely debunked, and at the time I'd seen it from multiple sources I trusted, but it's wrong, and I will admit that. I still think she's a shitty mother for prioritizing fucking child molesters over her own kid, but that's neither here nor there. That part, yes, I was wrong about that. Somebody else was just like, you're stupid if you believe everything they tell you, and I was just like, yeah, well, your fucking mother's a fucking whore. I don't care. Oh, no, a stranger on the internet thinks I'm stupid. However will I live without the respect of some random asshole online? And that's a whole nother tear I could go off on. All these fucking morons who somehow think that their opinions of somebody they've never met mean a fucking thing. I mean, I say that with, a little hint of irony to it, because I am fully aware that I'm sitting here venting my opinions about a bunch of people I'll never fucking meet in real life. But that's what this show is all about. It's about, I get to use it as an excuse to talk to people I want to talk to. When I do guest spots, I get to use it as an excuse to try and create engagement with people I want to hang out with and I think would be cool to talk to. And I get to use it to vent my fucking colon so I don't have a fucking ulcer. And you guys know that. This show is my therapy. It is what it is. So anyway, yeah, anybody in the chat got anything they want me to say or do or think about or anything? Otherwise, we're going to go into the recipe part. All right, that's enough dead air. So I'm sure that would drive John absolutely fucking nuts if he was here, because we know how John Jamingo feels about dead air. So let's see, what are we gonna do for a recipe tonight? Well, last week we did. I don't remember what we did. Oh yeah, we did barbecue sauce last week. That's right. Yeah, sorry, I didn't really give this a lot of thought today because I was out and about going to a job application thing. Actually, I do know what recipe I'm going to give you guys. I just have to find it. So, okay. This is, now we did barbecue sauce last week. This week, and you guys maybe, why are we doing sauces? Because, like I said, I have good sauce recipes, but if I ever do get my spice line to market, it's going to be dry rubs and mix-in type things, and it's never going to be sauces, at least not for a while, unless it takes off and I have resources to buy facilities, because having the shit co-packed and bottled and marketed and shipped is a financial nightmare and a logistical nightmare too. So anyway, this week we are going to do a Chipotle ranch dressing. Now, this is actually, it's a Chipotle ranch seasoning that you mix in. Okay, I'm not explaining this. it's going to be ranch dressing when it's done. But the vast majority of the ingredients, like I suppose this could be a dry rub or a powder or whatever. This was going to actually be one of the seasoning blends I was going to sell, but it goes into the dressing. So it's all right. This makes 1 quart of dressing. So it'd be, one of the big bottles from fucking, whatever, Hidden Valley or whatever other ranch you happen to buy. If you're like me and you're not fancy, you get the store brand ranch or Wishbone. Good old Wishbone. Love their French, actually. But anyway, Chipotle ranch dressing. You start out with 2 quarts of mayonnaise. Or not, oh shit, I'm sorry. I said I was going to cut this in half, so it's going to be 1 quart of mayonnaise. 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Shit, I can't read my own writing. I apologize. No, that's 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of dried parsley, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of dried dill, 4 1/2 teaspoons of freeze-dried chives. And yes, these have to be dry. You want to mix all this stuff together dry because it's going to absorb moisture out of the mayonnaise when you do this. Anyway, 2 teaspoons of chipotle powder and 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. Just regular old sweet paprika. And you're going to combine all those things together. 1 quart of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of buttermilk, just to thin it out a little bit. Stir it. Let it stand for 4 hours minimum to overnight, so all the flavors have a chance to blend and meld and be delicious. And that is Chipotle ranch dressing. It's delicious. It's yummy if you like ranch. I personally, not a huge fan of ranch. I will eat it occasionally. I will use it to dunk certain things in, but if I'm having a salad, it's definitely not my go-to dressing. I like a good homemade Caesar. I like French. I like ranch, or not French. I can't even talk. I like French. I like Russian. French and Russian are very similar. I like creamy Italian. This ranch is like not even like top 5 for me. And I know it's like the most popular dressing in the fucking country, but I don't understand why. There's no accounting for taste. So anyway, that is the recipe for this week. Ranch dressing, Chipotle ranch dressing. And if you don't want the smokiness of the Chipotle pepper in there, you can omit the Chipotle powder, and then you'll just have plain ranch, and it tastes like fucking ranch. I mean, I don't know. I personally think it's better when it's fresh, so there you go. So one last call for anybody that might have something to say. All right. Since there is no chatter in the chat, I will put a pin in it now and say for now, that's what I had to say.